Violent crime has dropped in D.C. First of all, I had heard from a couple of friends who used to avoid Union Station because there were vagrants and there were crazy people screaming at kids that they avoided Union Station. But over the past 9 days, since the president did this emergency order, it looks a lot better. It feels a lot safer. So I was talking with Stephen Miller and with Pete Hegseth about this in the Oval Office yesterday. And I was like, we should just go over there and say hello to people. And you've got a lot of National Guardsmen over there, some D.C. cops who have been heckled by some of the protesters. So I thought, what a good show of moral support to have the vice president and some of the senior team at the White House show up. We bought him some burgers, hang out with him a little bit. And actually, the most interesting thing, Laura, was after the cameras left, Pete and Steve and I stayed and, had lunch with these troops and just learned a lot about what they're seeing, about how much the city has changed in just the past 9 days. So crazy statistic. Violent crime has dropped in D.C. 35% in 9 days.
So they arrested 500 people and the crime went down by 35%. Gentlemen, the 2% rule seems to be undefeated. Who could have expected that arresting the people that commit crime makes crime stop happening? How are you right again? Because anybody who didn't think this was happening was retarded. The only way to be right is there's only one prerequisite. Don't be retarded.
In D.C. have dropped 55% in 9 days.
And it
highlights the fact that this living with lawlessness and disorder, that's fundamentally a question of political will. If you've got the political will to enforce the law, you can make even cities like D.C. safe again, and that's what we're demonstrating. And I hope that the American people take an important lesson from this, because obviously D.C. is a federal city, New York, L.A., these places are not. I hope the American people just recognize that you don't have to live with lawlessness. You don't have to live with third world murder rates.
This is one thing that I really think that he needs to push more, and they need to push more, is that this expectation of crime and problematic behavior in cities and certain public spaces is completely artificial. Nobody actually has to deal with this bullshit at all.